Hello, this is Larone Koonce, and this is On the Stoop. Today is November 19th, and I would like to just take this time to give an update of the Norma Seabrook trial. On November 16th, which was Thursday, the trial ended, as you know, in a hung jury. The jurors weren't able to decide whether or not he was innocent or guilty. 10 jurors wanted to convict him of conspiracy charges. Only one juror wanted to convict him of the fraud charge. So now it's a hung jury, but the U.S. attorney who's handling the case says that he will retry the case. And a report filed on Question of the Day Facebook group page by Kenneth Palukowitz says that the retrial will start December 11th. How about that? So we're going to go through this whole process again. It should be somewhat different now because both sides knows what the other's case is. So there's some things that probably will change. I think it's still going to rest on whether or not the new jurors will believe the key witness, who was Jonah Resnick. Also, one other thing that stood out to me in the defense's closing arguments, they kind of alluded to the fact that Seabrook won $100,000 in Atlantic City, and they kind of implied that that may be the explanation for him having $27,000 in cash in his house. They didn't really give you any documentation about it. They just put it out there, and maybe that had an influence on the jury. I don't know, but I'm sure that the prosecution will take that into consideration this time around and maybe have some documentation saying that he did not or win $100,000 out of Atlantic City, or maybe the defense will have some documentation saying that he did win $100,000 in Atlantic City. When the federal government searched Seabrooks' house, their subpoena allowed them to take all of the financial documents that were in the house, meaning that they were taking bank statements, credit card statements, casino winnings, loss statements, and things like that. So if he did win $100,000 at Atlantic City, I'm sure that the federal government would be able to verify that, or if he didn't win, they'd probably be able to say that that's not true. So I'm looking forward to see how that's going to be handled in this next case. One other thing that I found interesting is that in the New York Times, it reported that Seabrook wants to, when he's acquitted, he plans to reclaim his position on the executive board. I found this interesting because, as we know, I think it was about a week and a half ago, the executive board voted 13-1 to expel him from the union, which means that he will not be able to reclaim the seat if he is acquitted. And I had the opportunity to speak with Elias Hassanuddin, who is the COBA president now, on Wednesday at the union meeting, and he said that Seabrooks was removed as president of the COBA and executive board because he violated his fiduciary duty, and that there's regulations concerning nonprofits, and under those regulations the board is allowed to remove Seabrook from his position. Now, when they talk about finances and things like that, the word fiduciary duty is always brought up, and so I just wanted to give you a definition on fiduciary duty. It says a legal obligation of one party to act in the best interest of another. The obligated party is typically a fiduciary, that is, someone entrusted with the care of money or property, also called fiduciary obligation. Now, from that definition, I'm gathering that they're saying that Seabrook did not act in the best interest of the officers because he did not disclose the letter that he received from the financial advisor, which had all the red flags about Platinum Partners. Elias told me that they did not see the letter, that Seabrook did not show them the letter, and for that reason, he was negligent on some level, and he was not fulfilling his fiduciary duties. So that's the grounds that they're using, and if Seabrook is acquitted, there will be some sort of legal fight, I guess, Seabrook against the executive board to get his position back. Now, I find this interesting also because, if you remember, several years ago, the executive board under Seabrooks' leadership voted to remove William Valentin from his executive board position of corresponding secretary. And if I'm not mistaken, William Valentin took the COBA to court, and the COBA, I guess, said that they had every right to remove William Valentin from his position. So now we have a situation, or we will have a situation, if Seabrook is acquitted, that Seabrook is going back into court saying that this executive board does not have the legal authority to remove him from his position as president. Seabrook said in the New York Times that his removal was an illegal act. So this is going to be interesting the way it plays out in the long run if Seabrook is acquitted. Now, I just was curious as to what you think. Do you think that Seabrook, if he's acquitted, should reclaim his position as COBA president? Or should he just retire, just be glad that he dodged this bullet, just retire and move on to the next phase of his life? Let me know what you think. Also, do you think that Seabrook did violate his fiduciary duty by funneling the annuity fund money into Platinum Partners? You know, the defense, Seabrooks' lawyer, did say that Seabrook valued the relationships that he had with Huberfeld and Resnick because he knew that they were powerful people and had a lot of influence in the Seated community and in New York City, and that he was thinking about running for mayor at some point, and he would probably need those people to support him in his campaign for mayor. So do you think that his own self-interest or his own aspirations to be mayor kind of clouded his judgment when it came to the investment in Platinum Partners? Do you think that that might have been the reason why he didn't show Elias and the rest of the executive board, or the rest of the trustees on the annuity fund, the letter from the financial advisor? Also, I would like to say, during the closing arguments, the defense never said that they did show that Seabrook showed the letter to the executive board or the other trustees. So I don't think that is under dispute. He didn't show him the letter, so why didn't he show him the letter? Was he thinking about his own future in terms of having these two powerful, rich individuals fund his campaign, or was he putting the interests of the correction officers first when he did what he did? So let me know how you feel about that. It's kind of cold today in Brooklyn. You see I have my hat on. But I'm still going to come out here and I'm going to give you your reports. The December 11th trial, hopefully I will be attending that as well. So we're going to follow up and make sure that you get the information on that as well. So until the next time, stay safe, peace, and stay warm.